Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, Sigval here and welcome back to another video. So I got these Zatanna's puppet artifacts, so we're going to talk a little bit about the artifacts, and then we're going to see some gameplay with it. That's what we're doing today. I have it at level 1 currently, and it's going to give me 30% damage for each, 30% attack, for each negative effect active on the opponent. That's going to stack up to 500%. This is gonna be a thing, and I have here a different picture with a maxed out one. This is gonna be something that will scale up with the level of this. So while you have the possibility from level 1 to go all the way up to 500%, it's not gonna happen. It's simply not gonna happen. You have 23 seconds, and even if every single one of your specials is going to actually hit, there's simply gonna be too big of a window between specials to maintain that many debuffs on the enemy. For you to be able to stack this fully, except for Zatanna, who has permanent debuffs, and permanent debuffs from other sources might be a way to mitigate that deficiency caused by the low level. Though at the end of the day, attack is not really the selling point of this artifact, because like 500% attack is good. I'm glad that exists. It would be worse without it. I'm glad it's there, but it's not the best thing. Like, damage is so much better than attack, and damage against target is so much better than both of them. But yeah, this attack, you will not stack this to 500% at 30% for each negative effect, unless there's a very particular scenario. Also, the wearer will become unblockable and will have infinite power generation when you have more than 4 negative effects. Weird wording here, because when you see 4, I'm like, oh, I need 4. No, you need 5, because more than 4. And I know that it's logical, it literally says here more than 4. But it doesn't say, it could have also said 5 or more. Anyways, so we'll need to have 5 of them active at all times for you to be able to benefit from this. And this has a weird bad interaction. I'm gonna talk about that later, but this is gonna lead to some very awkward situation when you go from 5 to 4 debuffs. That's all I'm gonna say for now. We'll get more into that as we get into the gameplay. And you're going to get a 50% chance to apply one of the negative effects on specials, and they're gonna last 23 seconds. Those debuffs include Burn, Special Attack Disabled, Blind, Tag Out Disabled, and Incoming Damage Increase. The incoming damage increase is going to be good. I don't know by how much the incoming damage increase is gonna be, but you're not gonna be able to stack too many of these, because it's gonna cycle every single time, because they're gonna be in order: Burn, Special Disabled, Blind, Tag Out Disabled, and then damage increase, and they're just gonna cycle like this. And as you go through a cycle, you're going to most likely not be able to get too many of them 2 times, or have them only for a short period of time active at the same time if it's 2 of them. I mean, burning doesn't stack for sure, it just refreshes the cooldown. But anyway, you get the point. Out of this, compared to a higher level tank, you'll have a 100% chance to apply a negative effect for 23 seconds. And this sucks balls. Like, I would have rather had the duration be reduced at lower level. For example, make it 14 seconds at level 1, but give me 100% chance, and with each level you give me 1 second more to the duration, because this is going to be very, very luck reliant, and is gonna lead to some very awkward situations. And the fact that it's a 50% chance to apply a negative effect, and it's not gonna be a reliable thing that you can do every single time, is gonna go very, very badly with how very badly the second thing that it does goes. But yeah, all that being said, let's get into the gameplay. Okay, so I'm not using Zatanna, because Zatanna would be basically cheating with this artifact, because Zatanna has so many debuffs that she applies herself, and this artifact will most likely do amazing for her. And we will take a look at that later, but I wanted to see kind of in the middle of things, not something that this artifact will not have any synergy with. So we have Banshee. Banshee naturally is going to inflict 2 debuffs on the enemy, or 3 of them with the disables that she's able to inflict. and already has a head start in that regard. And we're going to see with this head start that Sarabanshi gets, how reliably she's gonna get to the required amount of stacks for this to trigger the infinite power and unblockable thing. And keep in mind, for every other character, I mean other than Zatanna, it's gonna be worse using this artifact. Sarabanshi is not as good as Zatanna with this artifact, but it's gonna be one of the best synergies with this artifact. There we go, we're finally on the unblockable with max out energy. And there it goes all the way. This is bad. This is a bad design on this thing. This is so bad. Sometimes you got a debuffs, right? You apply a debuff and you're going to need 5 debuffs to keep this active. You're gonna be on 4 debuffs, you're going to use another special. Look, there it happens. You're going to use another special and you're going to get this bar filled. You have 3 specials, but you can't use a different special because they're still on cooldown because you just used the special. And by the time you get to be actually able to use a special, the infinite power is actually going to expire. And not only the infinite power is gonna go away, it's gonna take away whatever power you had before triggering the infinite power. So you're gonna get instances where you're like, let's say you have half power, you randomly trigger the full power, that's infinite. You don't even get the chance to use it because the debuff is going to naturally expire, and then you get reset to 0 power. This is literally disabling my character. This is making Sarabanshi worse at the moment. And this has to do with the low level of the artifact and the chance to apply the debuffs. Like, honestly, this sucks at level 1. This sucks balls at level 1. And keep in mind, in the gameplay that you just saw, we don't have Zatanna. Like, on Zatanna, she's the exception to the rule, exception to the entire video. This artifact is gonna be amazing on her from level 1. But Sarabanshi is gonna be most likely the second best option you're gonna get in terms of synergizing with this artifact and making this passive work. And it's literally worse than if this did not exist on her. It literally did more bad than it did good for me because it kept stealing away power from me. I think the biggest problem with this artifact scaling is the part where it takes away all the power and doesn't like reset to the amount of power you had previously. Maybe it could give you a separate bar of power like we have with Dark Metal energy that you can spend and it's infinite while that is active. But converting your existing power bar to full and they taking it all away, it's just garbage. Another way this could have been done would be when you get to this amount, and this would fix the artifact so well. When you would get to the point where you would get 3 specials, you get the full power bar filled, and if the effect expires, instead of taking away all the power bar, you're going to just keep the power bar full and use specials, and then it's going to charge normally. The specials that you use are gonna cost something, but you're gonna be left with the full power bar when this effect ends. Not like this, because I was literally at some point I had 7 power bars. I used 1 power bar to trigger this effect. I had 4 power bars, and then this effect triggered. I had full power bars for 0.1 seconds and then 0. This is worse than not having an artifact equipped at this point, my dudes. And that's Sarabanshi. It's gonna be so much worse for every single character other than Sarabanshi and Zatanna. Zatanna's gonna be amazing with this. But yeah, this looks like a cool artifact. This looks like an interesting artifact. Don't touch it at level 1. I have absolutely no idea when this will actually be viable to be used in terms of being efficient in what it does. And sadly, I fear that will be for most characters at a pretty high level. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. More testing is obviously required. Let me know in the comments what you think about this, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye!
This is the future.